Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hello, everybody. Today I'm interviewing Herman Herrera, top producing realtor and the broker owner of Herman Company in Staten Island, New York. He founded Herman Co. in 2004 and is responsible for over $200 million in closed transactions. He's been featured on numerous media outlets, including the New York Times, USAToday, the Staten Island Advance, the Real Deal New York Magazine, and TLC series Moving Up. He's built a reputation on integrity, honesty, and powerful negotiating skills. Herman is a former Marine and St. John University alumni. Welcome, Herman. Thank you very much for being here today.
Well, thank you for having me, Eric.
And by the way, thank you for your service.
You're very welcome.
We've already addressed a little bit what it is you know who you are and what you do, but can you tell us a bit more about yourself?
Sure, Eric. That's a tough one, though. I mean, you've pretty much covered everything, except that I do like to track cars when I have the time on the weekends.
What led you into real estate? Is this something that you stumbled into, or you always wanted to do?
I kind of stumbled into it, to be honest with you. I don't know how many kids actually grow up thinking they want to get into real estate. It's not really a career that people choose when they're young, but I actually started out teaching English to 7th and 8th graders and selling real estate part-time. And within a few years, I was earning more money selling real estate, so I left teaching and never looked back.
Cool. That makes sense. Now, one thing that I like to ask, whatever their professions, is what do you think are the best personal attributes are that you possess that help you be successful in this?
Definitely discipline and a strong work ethic. The Marines really taught me success is 90% hard work and 10% talent. I don't know, that might be a little disproportionate. I do believe people do have natural abilities, but I've seen my fair share of talented people give up on a dream because they lacked a good work ethic. So I definitely think that discipline and a strong work ethic is very important. Yeah.
And on that note, can you give some specific examples of how that helped you?
Yeah, sure. You know, I know I'm responsible for my own success, especially in real estate. There's no one telling you to get into the office or hit the phones and prospect. You know, you have to have that self-discipline to forge your own success. So I've managed to build a strong referral base over the years, by maintaining relationships with my clients. So, and I wouldn't have been able to do that without that strong work ethic. So.
Cool. Like anything, I mean, the success is no different. There's no straight line to overall success. There's always ups and downs, right? I mean, can you talk a bit about the major adversities or trials you had to face to reach your goals?
Yeah, early on, I'd say competing with the big box companies, that was tough. We were a boutique office with a handful of agents working out of my basement when I first opened. No one heard of us. It took years of marketing and branding to grow. So, the internet helped level the playing field in terms of being able to compete and market with the big boys. So.
All right, that's good. Another thing that I like to cover when I talk to successful entrepreneurs is how they manage the worst moment. I mean, the huge obstacles, and then they just even consider quitting. How do you address these moments? How did you address these moments in your career to keep going? So, in other words, how do you keep going when you face these major obstacles?
I understand. Yeah, I always have a plan. I'm a big believer in having a plan. I have a vision for my company for what I want it to be. I'm consistently setting goals. I review them, make sure I'm still heading in the right direction. But I think the most important thing really is focusing on small successes instead of looking at the big picture all the time. That really keeps me going. So each success, no matter how small, whether it's closing or negotiating an inspection, it's another step towards my ultimate goal.
I like that, focusing on the smaller objectives. That's good. A baby step,
yes.
right?
Yeah, exactly. One at a time.
Yeah. You mentioned the word vision. What is your vision looking forward for the next, let's say, 5 years?
Okay, so we recently opened an office in Manhattan, so I'll probably be focusing on branding in that market. I also have plans to open an office in downtown Brooklyn as well. So we're looking at space in Williamsburg and Greenpoint. I mean, it's not an easy decision. We'll see what happens over the next year or so, but that's definitely the goal eventually.
Yeah, it's a nice vision. And on that note, how do you think you will continue to market yourself? Is there anything specific you plan on doing?
I'm a big believer in networking, Eric. So I like to get out there, shake hands. I think it's the strongest way to market yourself. I mean, the internet, don't get me wrong, it's fantastic. It's a great tool, but you have to network. Face to face, you got to get your face out there. I mean, we're involved with our local civic association and other volunteer organizations. It keeps us connected to the community, and you have to have your face out there.
Yeah, I completely agree, 100%. Now, let's go back and discuss your clients a little bit. I mean, there are misconceptions out there about working with Realtor, right? I mean, what would, in your opinion, be the biggest misconception or myth that people have about working with a Realtor?
Probably that people believe selecting a larger office, nationally recognized company will give them better service. That's not always the case. I mean, I worked for the largest brokerage in my area before opening my own company. And, I saw firsthand the smaller offices sometimes, not always, but sometimes they offer a different level of service, maybe a heightened level, more agent accessibility. I would say, generally speaking, finding a successful agent isn't so much in the company name. I think it's in the experience of the agent and what they have to offer. So.
Okay, good. Makes sense. I mean, it's not just because they're big, doesn't mean they're good, right?
Correct. Correct.
Now, let's just assume that you had a family member that lived the other side of the country and they were thinking of selling their home. What type of advice would you give them on selling or actually maybe even buying a home? What should they do or look for?
Well, I usually find the agent for them through a referral base I use on Active Rain. But I do my due diligence for them. I interview and I speak with them, and then I just tell them who to call. So give them the easy route.
That's good. And then what about somebody you couldn't be doing that for? Or what advice would you give somebody that you can't help personally?
I would say do your research before you hire an agent. I think that's the most important thing. I really find it amazing. People do more research when they buy a flat screen TV or a car, than they do when they hire a real estate agent. That agent is going to help you with one of the biggest financial transactions of your life. So, I mean, take the time, find out who's selling homes in your area and interview a few of them. And then ultimately, I mean, pick the agent you feel comfortable with, not the company,
That's good advice. Now, how can our listeners learn more or actually get in touch with you?
Well, yeah, they could visit our website at www.herman.nyc, and they could find out anything they need to know about us.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to doing this interview with us. This was very interesting, very enlightening. So, again, a huge thank you, and then we wish you an amazing day.
Thank you for having me, Eric. Same to you.
Bye, Herman.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.